Hey there, friends. I'm just going to do like kind of a languid slideshow talk about Portland in more tumultuous states. In other words, there's been all kinds of action downtown, but tonight is a transition, I'm thinking, based on reports from my visitors. I have, you could say, visiting faculty. Now, faculty may conjure in your mind a non-rugged individual, but these are rugged individuals, and this is the Pacific Northwest, and that you are staring at. We're going to go forward in time. This is my campground, and you can park there amongst the sculptures and satisfy your curiosity. Now, the idea would be to have more supply lying around, and while you're there, you can play with it. It's maybe not that you're taking it with you, you're just like assembling something or, you know, check it out, that kind of thing. In this case, though, this was more about studying the anthropology of what's going on downtown, where we have visitor law enforcement people, and then there's various stripes of like protester. There's those who go for the speeches. I've been encouraging better music. I mean, the Star Wars theme song on the boombox, that was a nice touch, of course. But, I'm talking, we've been denied our blues festival, and I'm just thinking there are things we could do soundstage wise. I'm talking about downtown Portland this time of history. What else was going on is the probe to Mars, the NASA version got off the ground this morning, I think it was. And I'll let you know on that one. There's other probes on the way. And let's see, this is Barry. Now, there's a strange looking reflection that looks like a squirrel's face or something over here. That's coincidental. That's not a face. That's just a trick of lighting. But what we're looking at is a python that hangs out with me. Where's his head? I think he's parked his head. There's his head. Okay, he's taking a look. This was cleaning the cage, right? Now, I'll speed up a little bit. What we do next is we go to, by taking different routes, I've got my own car. We're all doing social distance. This is, residents only place is called Kailash, and if you remember some of the older videos, I'm a big believer in place-based education, and I started pretty close to home, and I've been gradually widening my radius. In fact, in the most recent video, we were doing the Columbia Gorge as a unit. Now we're back to sort of urban Portland, but I'm keeping the idea of intentional communities or model villages where they practice certain practices, right? I won't go into the details on this one. I'm just saying there are a lot of these, and the people, because of their shared disciplines, have, various results that you wouldn't get if people were not sort of cohered around certain plans, I should make these pictures bigger, shouldn't I? This is a free pile. There's always stuff they're giving away there. And anyway, this was a birthday party for Leela. Now, that's Patrick there. Leela goes back in my blogs and videos to like the airport where we're watching her go off to Nepal, right? Or saying goodbye. And so this is her new home, and that's what we're visiting because of her birthday and so forth, okay? So very nice place with really languid gardens, and I'll just finish leaving the languid garden slides to go in the background and just finish into what we're also wanting to talk about here in this particular video, which is, of course, our larger curriculum concepts having to do with, say, frequency and angle. So frequency, commonly we speak of the number of intervals as you go along like the edge of a ruler, talking about 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, whatever unit, 1 light year, 2 light years, whatever that's supposed to be. And then this has more intervals. Now, did we leave the total distance the same and just subdivide it more? Or did the thing actually get bigger? I mean, the concepts that we investigate, kind of philosophical investigations, right? We take Wittgenstein as our kind of role model. So that's frequency. And then angle, of course, is when you change direction, right? Kind of a rotation operation. In vector math, you know the difference between a scalar operation and a rotation operation. The latter would have to do with angles, the former with frequency. Now, when you flip to rotate the other way, they call that scalar, and they introduce the negative numbers, and yet you have flipped. So there's like a rotation gets put in there. So is to negate a rotate or a scalar operation? I think generally we call it a scalar. Because I bring this up because in Martian math, we have what we call 4 basis vectors from the center of this tetrahedron up to its, out to its 4 vertices, right? And we call them all basis vectors. And that's considered a strange use of the term, given any 3 of those could make the 4th as long as you allow rotation, which we don't. We don't have any need for rotation at that point, although we do have negation as an operation. Of course, it's there. But we don't need it. So there are no negative coordinates, just 4 of them. Anyway, that's the quad ray stuff. So you might have heard me talk about that quite a bit by now. Depends how you got to us and where you're going. So I'll talk more about C60 and so forth another time. Buckminster Fullerene, etc. Thanks to my guests, my visiting faculty, for coming on down through the Pacific Northwest corridor here. These are northerners, right? Talk to my Uncle Bill sometimes. We're talking up, closer to Canada, closer to the Puget Sound, the San Juans, places like that. So that's where my visitors are from and going back to. And this is just about winding up here at the Kailash Village, Eco Village. One of many, right? They're all over Portland, these things, and probably out in the countryside more than I know, because I don't get out much anymore. Partly because of COVID now, but even before that. All right, we'll talk to you in the near future, and hang in there, guys.